Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be showing you guys how to break objects in Blender. Now in the intro, I showed you this glass breaking scene, which we're not going to be making today, but we'll make more of a simple version, with a cube and a sphere. Now, the reason I showed you this in the intro is to show you guys what you can do with this. So if you figured it out, you can probably implement the thing that you learned today to make something like this. So without further ado, let's begin. To do this, we're going to utilize an add-on. So let's go to Edit, Preferences, and Add-ons right here. So the add-on that we're going to use today is called Cell Fracture right here, Cell Fracture. So just have it checked and you should be good to go. Now, what the Cell Fracture add-on does, it basically just fractures your object using some Boolean operations. And now when you do that, there's many ways you can do that, right? You can use particles, and you can also use annotate somehow, and it works. But today we're just going to use the particle as a method because I think it's more consistent and easy to use. So first, let's move our cube up by 1, and let's add a plane in the bottom so that we have a floor for the cube when it does the rigid body. So now, first thing, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the particle system tab. Now, don't worry if you don't know how to use a particle system. We're not really going to dive in depth with this. So we're just going to use a simple method right here first. So basically press plus for a new particle system. And we're going to lower the frame start to 0 and frame end to 0. So that we can see the amount of emitters on the cube. So there'll be about a couple, like 1,000 pieces, I think, depending on how much you have. And then now what you're gonna do is you're gonna press F3, and then it's probably gonna look like this. You're gonna press cell. You're gonna type in cell and cell fracture right here, and this window will pop up. Now there's nothing too much to really worry about, and there's a couple things you can change, like the source limit and stuff, which is like the amount. But the thing that you want to change is the margin. Now this might look like 0, but you actually want it to be actually 0, because if you click on it, you can see it's 0.001, which is not what we want. So just type in 0, should be good to go. Okay. So now next you're gonna press right here on the collection, and then type in a name for a new collection to put the new cubes in, the new fractures in. Because if you put it in the current collection, it's going to be a big mess, so we don't want that. So let's say fracture. Fracture should be good. We'll name that and press OK. So now we'll just start doing some fractures and stuff, and there we go. Let's close this, and we're gonna delete the cube that we have earlier, like this. So now we have all the fractured stuff here. It should be good. Now you can just select any random fractures object, and we're gonna adjust a few things. Let's go to the physics properties and add a rigid body. Then you're gonna go down to surface response and then increase the friction so that it's more friction and it doesn't collapse the time you start. And another thing you gotta change is in the dynamics, and then at the bottom it said deactivation, and then open here and it said click on start deactivated. So what this does, it does nothing would happen until it gets interacted with. So basically when you run the animation, nothing will happen. It won't collapse, it won't anything. So yeah, it should be good. So now we only set it to this object and not the others, so we gotta do that. So make sure you got the thing that you changed selected, and then you're gonna press on the collection right here, fracture, right click, and you're gonna click on select objects, and then you should have it all selected. And make sure the active object, basically the object with the lighter selection highlight, I guess, is the one that you change the settings for. And then you're gonna go to object and then rigid body and copy from active. And once you do that, all of them should have the same settings, and yeah, good to go. So now it's all should be good. It's all not moving or anything. It's good. And the 4, don't forget to give it a rigid body and change it to passive. Okay, so now all we have to do for the last thing is add a sphere and move it to the side, maybe around here. Insert location, go to like frame 70 maybe, and move it to over here. Insert location so that it moves like this. Then all we have to do at last is just give it a rigid body and make sure it's active and click on animated. If you don't click on animated, nothing will happen, so make sure to click it. And then once you've done that, you should have the cube be able to kind of fracture. Now in solid view, you might see the fractures and you think, I want it to be smooth when it's all together. Not to worry, because if you're in material preview, thing is not entirely visible, so you shouldn't have that much of a problem. So maybe we can try changing the colors a little bit, make the ground like that color and make the ball like red. I mean, you can see if you don't look in too deep, I don't think I can actually see the cracks here as well. You shouldn't have that much of a problem. And oh god. And as you can see, it's all good, even in rendered view, I think. That is it for this video. Now I just showed you a simple version, and in the intro I showed you how to make it with the glass. So I mean, maybe with this you can also try to figure out how to do it with the glass and stuff. If you guys figured how to do it, don't forget to join our Discord server and share it to us. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.